station at that time. And I drew the assignment of interviewing Elvis when he came in that night for Chaffee. So I was standing at the gate when he came in, and all the troops came in the Greyhound bus, and all these young girls were up there slapping on the side of the bus trying to see him on both sides. In those days, back in the 50s, we were very antiquated on television. Our studios were in the old Southwest Times record building, and we didn't do any interviews on film because we just didn't have the equipment. And we certainly didn't do tape because tape wasn't even heard of in those days. So everything we did was live. Every TV station had 4 or 5 announcers who did nothing but commercials because we didn't have any tape commercials. If you did a commercial for someone, you did it on the air. So I always said we broadcast our mistakes. We didn't go back and cover it up. There wasn't any way. So when we had the opportunity to interview Elvis, we got a fellow by the name of Milton Perkin who had a photo shop on Towson Avenue. And Milt had the camera equipment we didn't have and the film. And so Milt was out there with me that night. And we got the interview. I did about a 15-minute television interview with him. And, I was not a big fan of Elvis at the time. I became one later on. But I was afraid he might be abrasive or a little highfalutin, but he was just the opposite. He was very nice. And halfway through the interview, Milt hollered and said, "Jim, the tape broke, the film broke." Well, we're 11 o'clock at night, and Elvis is tired, and I had to say, "Elvis, can we do this over again?" He said, "Oh, yeah, that's fine," which I expected it might be worse than that. But anyway, he was a very nice fellow. I spent some time with him the next day in the day room before he got his hair cut. Not much before. And there was only 2 or 3 of us local reporters on hand. I don't know whether the Army didn't allow them on the base or they just didn't come. I don't know which. But there was very few of them. There was 1 or 2 of us who were talking to him, visiting with him in the day room, and they had a bank of payphones on the wall. They had the accordion door. He used to have a lot of them. I don't know whether they still do or not. But anyway, Elvis was managed by a fellow by the name of Colonel Tom Parker, who developed a product called Hadacol. Some of you that are older might remember Hadacol. He made a fortune with it. He made a fortune with Elvis, too. Probably more with Elvis than he did the Hadacol. But I remember he sold the product to a corporation about the time Elvis was coming into service, and they went bust with it. He sold it for $1 million, which at that time was a lot of money. But they didn't do well with it at all. They went down the tubes. I think it had a little alcohol in it. That's what made everybody feel better. It would cure anything. At any rate, I was sitting there talking to Elvis, and Colonel Parker came over. I don't know how they let him on the base and spend that much time with him, but Elvis was pretty hot property, so they did. But anyway, he came over and said, "You're only going to have to let him go. His mama is on the phone and wants to talk to him, and he loves his mama." Okay. So he sat in the phone booth with the door open and talked to his mother. We could hear most of the conversation. What he said, I can't remember now. 53 years ago is a long time. My memory has a tendency to fade a little bit, from yesterday even. But anyway, it was a nice experience. He was a nice man. And it was very common. Didn't talk down to you. He just, anyone you could meet would recommend. So, but his experience here, and I mentioned this fort, and to the people of Fort, won't be forgotten for a long time. And he made quite a mark in the music industry, and he made quite a mark in Fort Smith. Thanks.